Hey y'all, Little Drummer Boy here, and on tonight's edition of Trucker Tales, I want to talk about Massachusetts Ice Road. So I deliver in Lynn, Massachusetts for Gaines Motor Lines last year, about a year and a half ago, I think February. And I'm going up through Boston on I-95, drive right by the Green Monster and under Boston Harbor in the tunnel. Only tunnel I've ever been in underwater that has exits in it. That was pretty wild. And I just couldn't imagine the Boston Tea Party. Been there, because going through the harbor in a concrete tunnel, it's hard to even imagine what 1773 was like there. But anyway, so, and I couldn't see if there was any tea left in the harbor from the concrete tunnels. But so go up the Revere, just north, America's oldest beach, Revere, no doubt probably named after Paul Revere. And so get in this traffic circle, and my GPS has me going around in circles for like 30 minutes to an hour because I keep turning at the wrong flipping place in this traffic circle. I was about to be fit to be tied. So anyway, finally made it out of Revere in the traffic circle and went on up to Lynn, Massachusetts, right on the ocean. I even drove right by the ocean, and I rolled, even though it's cold and in February in Massachusetts, I rolled down my passenger side window so I could hear the waves. And there's a big old rock out there in the ocean. Not used to seeing that being from the south. But anyway, Lynn, city of sin. You never go out the way you went in. That's what one of my friends that's from Boston said about Lynn. He said it's notorious for opioid addiction. Well, to me, it was notorious for being a very old New England city that's not good for trucks, because I had to turn and go through a residential neighborhood because I came up on a low railroad bridge. And then I had to get to my consignee, to get to my delivery. I don't know why they call in 53-foot trucks to places that are so flipping hard to get to. But to get to my delivery, I had to cut through a liquor store parking lot with my trailer, and I had to get up on a sidewalk. And this stupid young'un just got out of school, and she is like putting her hand on the trailer while I'm up on the sidewalk, and I'm like blowing my air horn like, back off, get away from my truck before you get run over, you stupid kid. Anyway, then I had to back off the street to get to my consignee. I think it was a brush company. We delivered a lot of steel for Old Dominion Brush Company in Richmond, Virginia, and they make street sweepers. And so we were hauling the wire for the street sweepers, and I think that's what this place was, but I can't remember exactly what they did. But I was hoping to get up with my cousin Zach, who's a lawyer in Boston, but you know how trucking is. You just hop, hop, hop. You don't have time to stop and do crap. Well, you do have time to crap because you don't have to, you don't really get a choice on that, but you know what I'm saying. So anyway, they send me across to get a backhaul of bonded fiber in Coleraine, Massachusetts, up in the Berkshire Mountains, to bring back to Hickory. And, well, first of all, New England is terrible for not having truck stops. I was getting low on fuel. And up there, the only friggin' truck stops are on the freeways and their state plazas, what do you call them? Service plazas. The liberal government has to have their hand in everything up there. So pretty much you can't find a truck stop and they're not trucker friendly up there, even though they all depend on trucks like we all do for their, to live. But I had to wind up, finally found a BP, but it's not a truck stop. It's just a gas station with diesel, and there's snow on the ground. And so in the snow on the ground, I got to pull in there front ways first, drop my trailer, bobtail over to the tank, get my fuel. They didn't take fleet cards, so I had to pay for it with my own debit card and then get reimbursed later. Then I had to hook back up and back out into the road to get fuel there. It was a lot of fun, y'all. So anyway, I'm tooling along what this story is about, Ice Road, Massachusetts Ice Road. So I'm heading on west. I can't remember if this before I got fuel or after, but I'm heading on towards Springfield and western part of the state, up near New Hampshire, to this little picturesque town on the stream called Coleraine. And I hear the Berkshires are beautiful in the daytime, but I only got to see it at night in a snowstorm. I was very glad to get and thankful to get out of that place, but because I almost got stuck at the shipper. But anyway, so on the way there, I'm on a 4 lane and it's like 65. I'm going like 65, and it starts to snow like a spitting snow, but there's nothing on the road that you can see yet. And obviously the other drivers didn't, know either. But apparently there was enough to make it slick because this Toyota pickup truck comes flying by me, and as soon as he passes me without any warning, next thing you know, he is sideways in my headlights. And I'm like, oh God. And it was almost like a giant hand, invisible hand, just pushed him out of my way. And I watch him flip down the median out my window. So I very gingerly pulled off there because I'm like, okay, he just slid over in front of me. I've got to be real careful stopping here. So I stopped very slowly. A bunch of other people pulled off too. Traffic was kind of heavy, and we were all kind of, how you are. You're kind of excited and nervous and shook up after something like that happens. And dude was wanting to ride. He was wanting to ride away from there. I don't know if he was drinking or what, but he was wanting to get away from it. He was okay. He walked away from it. Kudos to Toyota trucks, because that thing was built solid. It didn't cave in on him, and he walked away. But he was wanting to, and I'm like, I said, I can't have riders. We got a no rider policy. So, other than that, I wasn't thinking about it. I probably would have given him a ride if I could have. But this other guy said, no, I'm not going to give you a ride. I'm going to call the police. And that's when it hit me. I'm like, oh, yeah, this guy's trying to get away from the scene of the accident for some reason, whatever he's hiding. But that was my Massachusetts ice road experience. Dude spun out right in front of me on a slick road. And, if I would have T-boned him, it would have killed him for sure. So thank God that I think he must have steered back to the left or something. But whatever happened, as soon as he moved over in front of me, he slid back the other way and then rolled it down the median. But that was a close call. Definitely sucked up a seat cover that time. Then I get up to Colerain to pick up my load, and I got to do a drop and hook. And it's snowing to beat the band up there in Colerain. And I almost, when I dropped, you don't have any weight on your bobtail axles, and I almost got stuck in that parking lot trying to do my drop and hook. But I finally found my trailer after trouncing around the snow for about 15 minutes looking for it. Finally found my trailer, got loaded with a heavy load of bonded fiber, and I was glad to have that heavy load too, because it would give me grip, And and I asked for specific directions back to the interstate because I did not want to go. I did not want to get in another jam, especially in the snow. And I found out there was a low bridge if you kept going straight, so they told me exactly where to turn to get out of Colerain without coming up on the low bridge and having to back out in the snow. So all's well that ends well. I went through Springdale on the way back down to Connecticut and 95, and Springdale's a pretty big city. Springfield, Massachusetts. Might be where Springfield Arms is located, but anyway, it's a pretty good city. It's not as big as Charlotte, but it might have been as big as Raleigh or Winston. It's funny when you come upon a city like that you've heard of before, but you have no idea it's a big city until you actually go through it. But if y'all like my content, my trucker tales, I hope I'm not boring you with them. I think they're pretty interesting and pretty scary at the time they're happening, but they're fun to look back on and reminisce about. And the Lord, good Lord, watched me, kept watch over me, sent his angels to keep me safe. So very grateful about that. And if y'all like my content, like, share, and subscribe. Little Drummer Boy 1970. Thanks, and have a blessed night.